rather. But in the context of like the ancient era and telling time, I just found out the moon is getting an inch and a half further away from the Earth, and it's like everything's supposed to be going closer to the center of the galaxy. But you've got yourself a solar system, and it's got the waning of the moon moving further from the Earth, and this is in between the sun expanding outward. Now, as time persists, its core of the sun squeezes tighter together, and that is going to make it cool down because it's less energetic. So it's going to expand outwards. I had a dream, it was like kind of horrific, where there's a rope being wrapped around the waist of someone, and so then their chest above the rope wrapping around was ballooning out. I don't know if you've ever seen monkeys, these small ones, but they have like these giant barrel chests, and around their groins are enveloped in. And so I thought I was seeing that kind of thing going on with purple coloration. And if you know in anatomy, that is just not plausible because your lungs would blow out before your rib cage starts expanding out, like ballooning out. So if you know a little bit about anatomy and you saw something like that happen, you'd know right off the bat in ragdoll physics that's too cartoonish. And ragdoll physics is like if you get tangled up with a whole bunch of rope around your waist, well, now you're in a ragdoll position because you're going to have to get unbonded. And in bondages, it's like you're supposed to not indulge in, you're supposed to deny your flesh. And your flesh is your skin on the outside of your body. It's an organ. And so if that isn't enough, it's where like your brain is inside your skull and you're just carrying it around like a waiter carries food on a tray, but you're literally doing this your entire life. If you were to ask me, do you know what time it is? You know, this is something people normally do. I just got my phone last last 2 months. Didn't have a phone for an entire year. And I don't like wearing stuff on my wrist. It implies jewelry, and jewelry with not having a watch, I would not be able to tell the time. And in bondages, it's like you're supposed to not indulge in, you're supposed to deny your flesh, and your flesh is your skin on the outside of your body. It's an organ. And so if that isn't enough, it's where like your brain is inside your skull and you're just carrying it around like a waiter carries food on a tray, but you're literally doing this your entire life. And so that's like the prized possession. You get the front of your brain blasted out, you'll still survive. It's the back of your brain. So that's what's near and dear. Fine tune things that are slowly in their solar systems getting closer and further. And I'd say, I think it's because it's less energetic. The moon is just a dead rock. There's no energy going on in it. So it has less, resonance. And the sun, it's got more going on in it inside its core, nuclear fusion. So that's more of a capacitance. So if you bang together a capacitance and a resonance, you're sure as heck to find an superlative, and that's where, shit. So that same exact scenario where it can be applied on the planet, it's just like have to do with mobility. Once an inbred, and so someone who would have been an inbred, you get slower and slower because all you're doing is nothing new inside your genealogy, your gene pool. So saying that we came from Adam and Eve, wouldn't we all be inbreds from that? One would think. But we're not incels. is to explain a belief system real quick, where in the actual reality, the Earth, entire planet, it's gonna fizzle out, even if it's still in the habitable zone. But pretending like that already is, the sky is falling on an evolutionary scale, but from a creationist scale, they do work together, because an end cell is something where the outside complements the inside so much. And so we're as perfect as we can be, so the entire globe can only complement us. And so it's these people saying, like, we need to save the planet they would be clinging on to, not as an environment, but as a prop. In the very end, that's what they would be saying, is that this isn't a set design, this is a prop. And so that's what the rapture is. It's these people who would, when the earth is so bad, it would be no different than a worse place. Well, they're already there, and that's the scenario.